We all wake up with dreams every day. New day, new hopes, new beginnings. Yet, we go to bed with regrets of unfulfilled desires. Why? People have high intentions and aspirations, but they fail when it comes to taking action. That's why their dreams never turn into reality, because they miss an ingredient. Habits. Your life is nothing but a mass of habits you have built for yourself. Sadly, most people have built the wrong ones. And this is what we want to change in this world. We want to transform people from dreamers to doers, from change seekers to change makers, through the power of initiating a habit. We are Life Wheel, and we are on a mission to impact and elevate every Indian household one life-changing habit at a time. And I'm Nirmal, your catalyst in this journey of building life-changing habits. We all wake up with dreams every day. New day, new hopes, new beginnings. Yet, we go to bed with regrets of unfulfilled desires. Why? People have high intentions and aspirations, but they fail when it comes to taking action. That's why their dreams never turn into reality, because they miss an ingredient. Habits. Your life is nothing but a mass of habits you have built for yourself. Sadly, most people have built the wrong ones. And this is what we want to change in this world. We want to transform people from dreamers to doers, from change seekers to change makers, through the power of initiating a habit. We are Life Wheel, and we are on a mission to impact and elevate every Indian household one life-changing habit at a time. And I'm Nirmal, your catalyst in this journey of building life-changing habits.
Very good evening, everyone. Am I visible and audible to everyone here? A quick yes in the chat box if I am. A quick yes in the chat box. All right. I see a few yes trickling in. Good evening. Good to see you all. How is everyone here doing? Let me know in the chat box. How are you guys doing? How is everyone here doing? Pretty good. Well, awesome. Fine. Great. All right. Thank you. Thank you very much. So let me ask you this. How many of you would like to dive into age-old science of diagnosis? How many of you would like to, experience what a doctor might be feeling like? Me in the chat box if you'd like to experience that. Me in the chat box if that is you. All right. And how many of you also would like to know what exactly it takes to heal some of those imbalances? Me in the chat box if that is you. That you would diagnose yourself. All right. Thank you very much. Super. So just so that I know, so that I understand that you might be from different places, from different backgrounds, just so that I know, let me know in the chat box if you know me before. If yes in the chat box if you know me before, no in the chat box if we are meeting for the first time. Okay. Thank you very, very much. Thank you. So, which part of India are you from? Or which part of the world are you from? Which part? Okay. Bangalore, Northeast, Pakistan. Okay. Pondicherry, Hyderabad, Indore, Pune, Bangalore, Karjat, Coimbatore, Pune, Gulbarga, Secunderabad. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for letting me know. And also in the chat box, what do you do? You're a scientist, you're a farmer. Okay. Banker, housewife, marketing professional, retired teacher, housewife, academician, executive officer. Okay, all right. Thank you. Thank you very much. And what brings you here? What brings you here? What intrigued you to come here? Health, inflammation, housewife, okay, better health, need just to learn, okay, curiosity, tongue, need for good health, knowing what a quest to improve gut health. All right, thank you. Thank you. Thank you very, very much. Thank you. So, over the next 2 hours, we're going to be spending this time together. It'd be great if I can see you as well, because it's an exchange of energy. How much energy you're able to openly keep it flowing, that much will come out. Some of you, some of them, like for example, Asha, there are a few who are from the Transcend and some of my mentorship programs that I do. They know very well that once the energy gets flowing, it just comes out. Right? So keep your cameras on so that we can have the best exchange of energy. Go and keep your cameras on. Have an exercise for that also. Raise your right hand up. Raise your right hand up with your index finger up. Okay. Now you see this index finger? It can do a lot of things. One of the things that it can do is go ahead and press on the button that says camera. Right? And you'll see that it will magically turn on. Try that. It works every time. Okay. Lift both your hands up. Once you turn on your camera, lift both your hands up. Hands up. Hey, shake yourself up. Shake, shake, shake. It's a nice shake. Okay. Thank you very much. Good. Now today, what are we going to discuss? What are we going to discuss? What is our topic of discussion? The topic of discussion today is very interesting. And is it okay if I keep it very interactive and a lot of fun? Yes. And is it also okay if I ask a lot of questions? In the chat box, if you're okay with me asking a lot of questions, because the right questions unlock a lot of things inside you. Okay. And is it also okay if you would respond equally in the right energy in the chat box, if you're ready to respond in equal energy? All right. Thank you very much. And if in the next 2 hours, you feel that there is enough value coming in, there is enough value, that exchange that has happened, is it also okay if I let you know of how you can work with me? Yes, in the chat box, if that is okay as well. Yes, in the chat box. Work in a closer association with me, of course. Yes. All right. Thank you very, very much. Thank you. Great. Super. So let's go. Today, we're going to be discussing about this, the forgotten oracle. The forgotten oracle is the tongue as a mirror of gut health. Now, what is the meaning of the word oracle? This is not an English class, don't worry, okay? What is the meaning? But a few meanings would be really good. What is the meaning of oracle? Oracle ka matlab kya hai? What does it mean by oracle? Oracle. The word meaning of oracle is this: the advice or information that the gods gave, which often had a hidden meaning. This is the word meaning of oracle. The advice, this is Google meaning, okay? I Googled it. The advice or information that the gods gave, this is usually from the ancient Greece, that the gods gave, which often had a hidden meaning. Any Hollywood fans here? Any Hollywood? Anybody who watches a lot of Hollywood movies? Me in the chat box if you're somebody who watch a lot of Hollywood movies. And by far one of the most deep, intriguing Hollywood movies that I have seen. Oh yeah, there you go. Rajendra is right on the money, right? I'm going to talk about The Matrix. Yes, right. The Matrix, the movie called The Matrix, is probably one of the most deepest, one of the most interesting, on the edge of the seat movies that I've ever seen. I still watch because it gives a lot of deep insights on life. This is the weekend coming, so please do sit and watch Matrix if you haven't watched. It's three movies. All the three are really, really good. So go ahead and watch it. In the movie called Matrix, there is a character by the name of Oracle, right? By the name of Oracle. And this Oracle has a very, very, very special capability. Would you like to know? Yes, in the chat box if you'd like to know. What is the Oracle capable of? Come closer. It's a secret. Come closer. What is the Oracle capable of? The Oracle is capable of telling the future. The Oracle is capable of telling a future that is going to happen. And even when people don't believe, even when the hero doesn't believe, the Oracle says that you are the one. That you are the one who's going to save the humanity, who's going to save the human race. He doesn't believe it, but it so happens that that is the thing that happens at the end. He saves humanity. I mean, that's how all movies should end. The hero should save humanity. But then here, why this is so special is because the Oracle gave him cryptic information. The Oracle didn't give him direct information. The Oracle gave him secret cryptic information. Similarly, for us here who are assembled today, this is our Oracle. Type tongue in the chat box if you just understood that our Oracle today, who is going to give us hidden informations and hidden meanings. Type tongue in the chat box. Everybody who is here on call, there are about 100 participants here. Type tongue in the chat box. It is one thing that we use left, right, and center. So let us acknowledge it, at least in the chat box. Go ahead and do that. Okay, thank you. Thank you very, very much. All right. Now, by the end of today's session, you have the following. Okay, this is something that I can tell you. One is a tool to analyze your gut health with tongue. Okay, you'll have a tool to analyze your gut health. And the interesting thing is you'll not only do it today, you can do it any day. Okay, n number of times you want. Second, a method to balance the imbalance. When you use the tool, you'll understand that there is some imbalance. The tool will itself show you what is the imbalance. Now, by the end of the session, towards the end, I will give you the method to balance your imbalance. Okay. And third, there is also a chance to analyze your gut microbiome, which we are working in collaboration with somebody. And it'll be a chance to analyze your gut microbiome with me and the team. That's also something that we are going to give out at the end. How many of you are like really thinking, what could that be? Analyze my gut microbiome. Type I in the chat box if you're thinking, what is that? I in the chat box. All right. I'll tell you at the end. Okay. Now, few myths. The tongue only tells you about oral hygiene. That is, the tongue is used only to check for oral hygiene. It tells you only about your oral hygiene. Is it a myth? How many of you agree that it's a myth? How many of you agree that it's a myth? Agree? All of you agree? Super. Thank you. It's a myth. Definitely a myth. See, the tongue is not just about food residue or brushing habits. It's a mirror to your insides. In the chat box, if you got this, the tongue is not just about food residue. Matlab, how much is remaining on your tongue? It's not just about that or oral hygiene. It's a mirror to your insides. It tells you a lot about what is happening inside. Next, cracks on the tongue are harmless or genetic. How many of you feel that this could be a myth? The cracks on the tongue that you see are usually harmless or genetic. If you feel that you don't know, you can say don't know, right? You can very well say that. See, for example, somebody said here that I don't know. If you don't know, it's don't know. That's fine. Okay, that's very, very fine. The thing is, it's a sign of internal dryness. A fissured tongue is usually a sign of internal dryness and many a times accelerated aging. Also, constitution-based preclinical conditions. I know it's a lot of medical jargon. Pardon me if it sounded that way. The point is that it tells you a lot about what your constitution is, or based on your constitution, what are the diseases or what are the problems that you might encounter on this journey of life. Okay. Next, you only need to check your tongue when you're sick. How many of you agree that this is a myth? I agree in the chat box if you agree that this is a myth. Yes, you only need to check when you're sick. Super. See, Jihva Pariksha. Jihva means tongue. Pariksha means examination. I'm going to be using a few Sanskrit terms. Type S in the chat box if you're okay with me using a few Sanskrit terms. Yes. One of the most scientific languages. Jihva Pariksha or tongue analysis examination is a daily health audit tool. It's a daily health audit tool. You can use it every day. The tongue can predict disease before it manifests. Even before your blood test show anything. See, for example, this white coloration on the tongue. We have a few doctors here, Nandini and everybody, who understand this in a much more depth. Leukoplakia, or the white coating on the tongue, usually indicates that there is something seriously wrong with the with some things inside. We see that in the tongue, many times it is ignored. And usually there is something serious inside which is manifesting, but we see it only when it comes on the tests. The tongue can predict disease even before it manifests. The first thing, one of the first things that you'll see is in the tongue, because the tongue is a mirror to your insights. Type mirror in the chat box. Jihva sharirasya darpanam. That is in Sanskrit. Jihva means tongue, sharirasya, that is body's darpanam. Means it is the mirror. Correct. Something that cannot be removed, right? Even in spite of scraping, it doesn't go off. Now, the tongue is the most mysterious muscle you ignore. But the tongue always will say, ignore me at your peril. No? Ignore me at your peril. Why it's the most mysterious muscle we ignore? It is the strongest muscle for its size. It's a very small size muscle. It's not big. Right? It is probably one of the strongest muscles without a bone support, without a bony support. How long has your tongue been active? Tough question, I know. Since birth, I'm sure. Right? It's been active since birth. It never tires, even in sleep. Even in sleep, except in very deep sleep, it is still active. Now, it carries a unique print. It also has a unique print. There's a way in which your tongue is arranged. I'm sure in that way, no other tongue would be arranged. And it speaks more truth than your blood report. Figuratively, it speaks more truth than your blood report. How many of you got the pun in it? I in the chat box if you got the pun. It speaks more truth than your blood report. How many of you understood the cryptic message in that? It speaks more truth than your blood report. It does. It always does. Now, the tongue doesn't just taste your meals. It tastes, I'll explain a little bit here. It doesn't just help you in tasting. It helps you in analyzing ama, a few words that some of you who have been with me for some time know, but others, I'm just introducing you to a few new words. Ama is metabolic toxin. Type MT in the chat box if you understood metabolic toxin, the toxins that arise out of indigestion. The toxins that arise out of indigestion. Is it fiction? Is metabolic toxin a fiction? Yes or no in the chat box? Is metabolic toxin fiction? It's not. It's true. It is present. It is also a window to your Agni. Your Agni is your digestive fire. How strong your digestion is can be understood from your tongue. How strong your digestion is can be understood from your tongue. And Manas. It is also a window into your mind. It's a much more deeper topic. It requires a lot more deeper understanding of the science. However, it can also tell what or how is your mind working. Is it working optimally or not can be understood from your tongue. And it also tells a lot about your own truth. It tells a lot about your own truth. Now, you ignore its whispers. If you are somebody who's trying to ignore the whispers that the tongue has to say, which example is, white coating. How many of you seen, I in the chat box, have you seen white coating on your tongue? Thick white coating. I in the chat box if you have. Second, red tongue. Red, I mean literally like red tongue. Not pinkish, reddish tongue. Sometime, not saying whether it is there right now. Has it happened in the past? That's the question. Have you seen this in the past in yourself or somebody else? Now, fissures or blackish cracks. Black tongue with fissures or blackish cracks. They're all indications of certain things. If you ignore its whispers, and it will scream later. Your body will scream later. What will it scream? White coating is early kapha buildup, which means there is digestive disruption. There is slow digestive fire. There are problems happening inside. Red angry tongue means pitta flare in rakta. It basically means inflammation. It basically means inflammation. And fissures or blackish cracks means that there is some challenge happening with your neurological system. This is a little technical, but there is concern with your neurological system, your nerves. That is why there is fissures or blackish cracks. There is exact correlation. We have seen, there was an analysis done. There was a research done on people with depression, clinical depression. And it was found that out of 100 participants who were there, 94 people had fissured tongue, who were clinically diagnosed as depressed, had fissured tongue. Now, does your tongue behave differently when you're emotional? Does your tongue behave differently when you are emotional? Yes or no in the chat box. When you become emotional, does it behave differently? How's your voice? How's your, how different is the way you speak? How different is the way you speak? Your tongue will have a tremor. When you're emotional, your tongue will have a tremor. So when you ask somebody to put their tongue out, if there is tremor, it is a sign of emotional disturbance. There is tremor, it's one of the signs of emotional disturbance. Okay, so I'm going to show you a case study. Okay, we're going to go with a case study. This might sound a little bit like you're going through medical school, but it's what makes it very interesting. Okay, so let's do a little bit of Sherlock Holmes. Right now, raise your right hand up. Press on the button that says camera. Once again. Okay. Now raise your left hand up. Give yourself a nice shake. Okay. All right. Good. Good to see that. Now, case study. Now, why case study is because it makes it easier for us to understand. Towards the end of the session, I'm going to share a case. Towards the end of the session, on the last 3 slides of this session, I'm going to be sharing a methodology for different kinds of imbalances that you will discover. Okay. The case that I'm going to share right now, you are going to tell me what to do at the end. How many of you agree to that? Agree in the chat box. You're going to tell me what to do at the end. Type agree in the chat box. Which methodology will you practice? Which methodology out of the 3 would you practice? Okay. So the case that we have in front is a middle-aged lady in her 40s who came with indigestion. Okay, to me. Now she had white coating on her tongue. You want to note down? You can note it down. Okay, middle-aged lady who had indigestion, who came to me and said that, hey, my digestion is slow. I don't feel like eating. I feel heavy. There is white coating on the tongue and my energy levels are really low. And I feel like sleeping all the time. And even if I scrub my tongue, that white coating doesn't go off. Okay. Now, towards the end, you're going to tell me what would you prescribe her? Got it? Yes. What would you prescribe her at the end? Yes, yes in the chat box. Some of you have already got it. Fantastic. Good. Right. So this thing called the tongue is actually a personal weather forecast. It will tell you what is the weather going to be today, and you can make amends accordingly. So what is the first step in any diagnosis, in any treatment? Let us put it this way. In any treatment, the first step is always diagnosis. Correct? Would I be right if I say that? The first step is always and always, because when you have a precise diagnosis, it's very, very easy for you to treat. So the first step to do is diagnose. But how will I diagnose? As far as you are concerned here, your concern here is to diagnose yourself and your friends and family. Got it? Yes. The intention is to diagnose yourself and your friends and family. That is your purview here. Okay, you're going to diagnose yourself and your friends and family. That's what you're going to do. Now, how will you diagnose? You will diagnose it with the help of this test. Okay, you're going to diagnose this with the help of this test. Just give me 1 second. I'm going to bring the test for you. I'll tell you how to go about it. Priyadarshini, are you here? Just Priyadarshini, can you unmute and let me know? Priyadarshini? Hello. For some reason, I'm unable to hear you. Okay, I'm assuming that you're here. I saw you on mute. Okay. Priyadashni, after we finish this test, just let the participants post in the WhatsApp group. Just keep it on so that after we finish the test, they're able to post it in the WhatsApp group. Okay. Now, I'm going to be sharing the test with you. Here you go. Check the chat box. You'll find it there. And after we finish, okay, after you finish doing this, you're going to post that screenshot in the WhatsApp group. In the chat box, you're going to post the screenshot in the WhatsApp group. What you got in the chat box? Like to see a lot of eyes in the chat box. A lot of eyes in the chat box. Okay, good. Let's go. Thank you very much. So here comes the test for you. Take 2 minutes. It takes less than that, I'm sure. Take 2 minutes and complete that test. Let me know with it done in the chat box once you're done. Once you're done posting it in the WhatsApp group. All right. Share it in the group as well. Yes, in the chat box if you did. How many of you had a sigh of relief? बाबा सब कुछ ठीक है. Some of you did. Okay. But even if you have seen that there is some abnormality, seen that there is clarity that something is not right and I can do something about it. Okay. There is clarity that you can do something about it, which is great as well. Okay. Super. Thank you very much. So let's continue from here. Now, since you've understood what to do, okay, this is something that this tool is something that you can use, not just now. Now it might look normal, but the best time to test it, okay, the best time to test it is in the morning when you wake up. Might look normal now, okay, but the best time to test it is in the morning when you wake up. So save this link. Please save this link. And how many of you are going to send it to your friends and family as well? So that they can check as well. Ideally before brushing. Ideally before brushing. Okay? Send it to your friends and family so that they know what their tongue has to whisper. Okay? Now, since you know what is what, most of you have normal, I agree. Now, check it again in the morning. And once you check again in the morning, what are the things to do? If you see that there is some imbalance, I'll tell you at the end. Got it? Yes? Got it? Yes? All right. Fantastic. Good. Good to see that. I'll tell you at the end. Now, I'll ask the team to post on the group as well. Now, have you seen this before? A dam breaking, at least in movies. Yes. Have you seen dams breaking, roads breaking? Yes. In some way, Kerala had a lot of scare going on with the Mullaperiyar Dam for a long, long time. They still do. But the point is, did this start like this? How many of you believe that it started with a small crack? Yes, in the chat box, if you believe that everything that happens starts with a small crack. It starts with a small crack. Now, what happens when these signs are missed? Your tongue is telling you a lot of things, correct? But what will happen? Now, you know that there could be something not normal, but what is it telling you? And what will happen if it is missed? If these signs are missed, what will happen is something that we're going to discuss next. What the tongue reveals before disease arrives and how it silently echoes through the body, deeper body tissues. Now, our body has 7 tissues. How many? Our body has how many tissues? 7 tissues. Both hands up. Shake yourself up. Shake, shake, shake. We have 7 tissues. That is what we are made of. That is what our body is made of. And would I be right if I say that the quality of tissues is equal to quality of our life? The quality of our tissues is equal to quality of our life. So if, let's say that our muscle is not working properly, will we be able to move properly? If our bones are not strong enough, will we be able to carry ourselves? It's impossible for us to carry ourselves. So we need all the tissues in the right amount for us to carry ourselves. All right. Now, the tongue is actually telling us what is happening in our deeper tissues. The tongue is actually telling us what is happening in our deeper tissues. Now, that is a very complex understanding, but I'm going to give you a few pointers that you can probably look at, because most people, and I mean in today's world where we are so existentially distracted. Now, distraction has become a part of us. Would I be right if I say that? The next generation needs a detox. Thanks to us. How many of you believe that the first detox that many children might need when they're born is digital detox? Because they're born with that. It might sound a little graphic, but there is a situation. I don't exactly remember the name. Nandini, if you can enlighten me, it'll be great. Where the child or the baby of an addict mother, a mother who's on drugs, a drug addict mother is usually born with that addiction. And they have to detox the child system because it was mother's blood that was circulating, which had the drugs. Similarly, children that are born today have this tendency naturally. They call generation beta, where 80% of them cannot write by default. It is a fact. One of my friends who is an academician told me this. Similarly, also for us, it is very, very crucial to understand what health is so that we can take this understanding to the next generation. How many of you feel that it is a necessity? These are all from the ancient books that we have taken it. And it is very important for us to take it to the next generation, right? And it needs to go through the right patrons as well. Okay? So we fail to analyze what is going on because we are eternally distracted. And this distraction prevents us from understanding what is going on in our joints, in our skin, and all these places. But if we miss these signs, this could lead to a lot of trouble. Now, you have a tool to understand what is the imbalance, correct? You all have a tool to understand what is the imbalance. Now, towards the end, I will tell you what to do if you see that imbalance, correct? What to do? If you see that imbalance, what to do, I'll tell you at the end. Now, if you don't pay attention to it, what will happen, I'll tell you now. Ready for it? If you don't pay attention, what is going to happen? Because you need to approach the solution knowing that this is what is going to happen if you don't do it. Okay, ready? If you see that your vata is imbalanced, type V in the chat box. If you just heard me say vata, if you see that your vata is imbalanced, okay, if you see that the vata is imbalanced, and if this sign is missed, for example, dry, cracked, trembling tongue is missed, okay, this actually means that there is vata aggravation. And when you digest your food, when the food is digested, there is something that is formed which is called the chyle, right? It is the first thing that is formed, and it is from this mixture that we get our nutrition. I in the chat box. It is from this mixture that we get all the nutrition to different tissues. If there is aggravation of vata, this chyle is not capable of nourishing tissues. Got it? Yes. This chyle is not capable of nourishing tissues. This is a major problem. We will not even understand that something like this is going on. We will only understand it when we have a disease. I'm also going to tell you about the 6 stages of a disease today. Okay. You'll only understand when you have a disease. Because there'll be the signs that you will see after this tongue cracks and, dryness, trembling. The next thing that you'll see is fatigue. You'll not know what is going on inside, but the next thing you'll see is fatigue. The next thing that you'll see is anxiety. And we think that it is a mental problem. No, it's not. It is happening in your gut. Now, the thing that will happen after that, because this chyle is not able to nourish, will the circulation happen properly? Even if the circulation happens, will it be able to nourish? Can somebody tell me, if there is not enough nourishment reaching the skin, how will the skin feel? What will be the feeling on the skin? Kavita spot on. Balram spot on. It will be dry. It will be pale. These are the things that you will see. Poor circulation. Okay. Then, if Vata is predominant, the next tissue that it has a direct impact on. I'm still here, okay? Don't worry. Only thing is that my light has gone off. I'm still here. Can you hear me? Yes, in the chat box if you're able to hear me. Looks like I'm in the ghost mode. Okay. Bhuta, yes. Right. So what happens is, can we all turn on our cameras, please? I've still kept my camera on, even if you're not able to see me. Okay, all right. Thank you very much. Good to see you all, by the way. Now, wait, let me see if I can increase the brightness. Am I visible now? A little? Yes, okay. Thank you very much. Now, the next tissue that Vata imbalance directly attacks is the nervous tissue, where you'll see that there is insomnia, there is lack of clarity, and it is usually associated with a lot of stress. This is very, very common in Vata imbalance. How many of you here, like somebody mentioned here, in hindsight, are able to see that some of these things have happened? Hari, that is a different topic altogether. Don't jump the gun. All of you with me on this? That we're not going to jump the gun. No matter what happens, we're not going to jump the gun. Yes on that? We are in so much of a hurry to heal that we forget what we are trying to heal. I in the chat box if that is true. What are we actually targeting is something that is missed. Abhi batao karo kya? The point is to understand what is going on first. Because without understanding, that is what is happening to most of our healing practices today. We don't know what we are going after. I in the chat box if you believe that's true. What are we targeting? The diagnosis is not there. We are trying to heal. So, if there is Vata sign missed, it can lead to fatigue, anxiety, poor circulation, which will lead to skin problems, insomnia, nervous system disorders, which we usually see as stress problems. They are not. They're actually Vata increasing in your body. Simple. Now, next is very interesting. If you miss red tongue, swollen tongue, or inflamed tongue is something that you see, and you're feeling a little burning sensation on your tongue, and all these things, they are signs of early pitta aggravation. This can lead to problems with your second tissue, which is called blood or rakta. The circulation goes for a toss. The circulation is incomplete. There is not enough nutrition reaching different parts of your body. Your skin becomes, inflamed. Your skin becomes sensitive. There are hives, rashes, patches that are painful, and all of that. Burning, heat rashes, all these things happen. And what also happens is the internal environment, especially the intestines, are susceptible to ulcers. It also leads to the chyle that we mentioned earlier, right? That also becomes incapable of nourishing because the circulatory system is short. This can lead to hyperacidity and many a times emotional anger outbursts. How many of you are able to relate with what I just said? I in the chat box, if you're able to relate with what I just said. Chyle is CHYLE. It is the first, after the food gets mixed with the digestive juices, that it's rasa basically. In Sanskrit, it is rasa. The point here is that, yeah, I'm back. If the heat spreads and it is not cooled in time, it becomes a full-blown inflammatory disease. If we miss the signs. I in the chat box, if you got that. If you miss these signs, if you miss the red swollen tongue, it's a sure shot thing that there is something happening on the inside. Okay. Fantastic. Thank you very much. Now, if you miss the third category of signs, which is a thick white coating on the tongue, sluggish movement of the tongue, speech becoming slurred, lack of clarity, missing words. How many of you experienced that before? Me in the chat box if you have. Thick white coating on the tongue, your tongue feels a little bit more heavy than usual. Speech becomes a little more strenuous than usual. This is early kapha accumulation in the body. And what happens is there is blockage of channels. So nutrition becomes a challenge. There will be swelling in the body because the nutrition is not happening well. It also leads to intestinal slowdown because what is there on your tongue is also there on the inside. I in the chat box if you got that. What you see on your tongue is a reflection of what is happening inside. And as I said, the best time to analyze is in the morning. Now, when there is slowdown in the intestines, the toxic overload automatically happens. The channels get blocked and there is chronic fatigue that sets in later. In Vata, it sets in the beginning. In Kapha, it sets in at the end. Because there's a lot of toxin overload, there is chronic fatigue. It will look harmless. Slowing down, slow speech, all these will look harmless till it becomes a lifestyle disorder. Diabetes, hypothyroidism, PCOS, all these have the early signals of kapha disturbance. Always. I in the chat box, have you got that? Now, how many of you feel that ignorance was bliss? Baba, ye pata nahi hota to acha hota. If I didn't know this would have been better. It's not. Awareness might be painful in the beginning, but at the end it is bliss. How many of you agree? Type agree in the chat box if you agree that awareness might be a little bit of pain in the beginning, but at the end it is bliss because it will keep you prepared. It will make you prepared for what's coming up. It will always keep you on your toes. Agree in the chat box if you agree to that. Thank you very, very much. And how many of you are going to check your tongue tomorrow morning and do the test again? Me in the chat box. If you're going to check your tongue and do the test again. Fantastic. Now, it is also important for you to know what is going to happen as a result. What is going to be the progression of this? For how many of you it's important? I in the chat box, if it is important. With this knowledge that you have right now, that awareness is bliss. How many of you want to know what is going to happen? So that you can make yourself aware. Okay. So here you go. This is called the 6 stages of a disease. The most important health framework you'll ever learn, because all the diseases that have happened to you have gone through these 6 stages. Whatever you're experiencing today have gone through this 6 stages. Okay. So let's learn what is that. See, what is this? What is this? Water tank. So water comes in, water goes out. Water comes in, water goes out. And there is a drainage system also, correct? There's a drainage system. Water comes in, water goes out. It goes through the different parts of our house and there is drainage. But what do you think will happen if there is a block in the pipes? Initially, it will not be very perceivable, correct? Type I in the chat box. Initially, if there is a small block, it will not be perceivable. But when it moves from being minor to a major, it will start becoming a challenge. And when your pot, the system becomes choked, that is when we start to realize there is some problem. Would I be right if I say that this is the same for health also? That we miss out the signs and our focus today. Raise both your hands up. Shake yourself up. Shake, shake, shake. For how many of you have realized that the focus today has shifted from health to disease? I in the chat box if you're able to see that in the environment around you. And we feel safe that we have a health insurance. Is that the truth? We have this false safety in health insurance. Because when the pot starts to leak, it stings real bad. Okay. The body gives you 6 warnings. The body gives you 6 warnings. Now, what are these 6 warnings? Let's see. The first warning or the first whisper is called accumulation. The first whisper is called accumulation. You'll feel a little off, maybe mild bloating, sluggish digestion, occasional tiredness. How many of you have experienced this in the past? I in the chat box. It's your body saying, hey, something is out of balance. Kuch to hua hai. It's what it's saying, right? There's something happening. Best action is simple diet fixes, light detox, more movement, easily reversible. Okay, this is easily reversible. You can do easy reversal if this is the case. Next, aggravation. Next stage, digestive issues worsen, sleep gets disturbed, you feel more fatigue. Me in the chat box, if you've experienced this before, your body systems are starting to get agitated, but we still ignore it. The best action is to identify what is causing the irritation. Very, very important. Diagnosis is very, very important. Food, stress, lifestyle. All these are factors. Make small but powerful adjustments. Very crucial. Supported, powerful adjustments. Third, the leak begins. This is the point where it starts spreading to your tissues. I in the chat box, have you got that? Where the problem starts spreading into your tissues. It is not just there in your gut. It has shifted from your gut to different parts of your body. It is spreading. Something is not right. You'll feel something is not right because you'll have joint pain, you'll have mood swings, and you'll have unexplained symptoms many a times. Now, what do I mean by unexplained symptoms? How many of you like to know? What do I mean by unexplained symptoms? See, you did something yesterday and something happens today. You're very clear. Let's say that you ate out and today you have stomach pain. Very easy, relatable. You did that, this happened. This, that. Cause. There is a cause and there's a reaction. There's an action, there's a reaction. But what if you have done small thing over time and there is a symptom and you're not able to relate with any of these? How many of you have symptoms like that? where something is there today and you're not able to know why it happened exactly. There are multiple hypotheses that this is the reason, this is the reason, this is the reason, but you're not able to pinpoint that this is why it happened. That is what I meant by something is not right and unexplained symptoms appear. What you need is detox, deeper self-care, get help before it is too late. How many of you here think that there have been times when this has happened to you? Next. Now the deposition, since it has already started, now the doshas settle, the problems, the toxins settle in a weak spot. This is where you see pre-diabetes, PCOS, high BP, fatty liver. This is when doctor starts noticing something is wrong. Till then, everything is under the rug. Sab chatai ki niche hai. Everything is under the rug. Now, the best course of action is act now. Ayurveda can still reverse this, but this is serious. In the chat box, if you are in this state somewhere where there is very high indication that the tests and everything to prove that something is wrong. Till here, everything is preclinical. There is no indication that something is wrong. Next. Now the disease has a name. Next stage is when the disease starts getting a name. Hey, I am diabetic. Hey, I have thyroid. Hey, I have rheumatoid arthritis. This is when the naming comes. Yahan tak there is no naming. There is no name. Now modern medicine steps in here. See, it is not wrong. What I'm saying is there have been a lot of indications before which we fail to look at. But now when we see it on the test, we have proof. Only then we believe. How many of you feel that this is true? That we believe only when we see it on a test, on a sheet of paper. That we have been trained to do that way. That jab tak paper pe dikhai nahi deta, we don't believe it. Somebody says something is wrong with you. You look a little off. We don't believe. But then after a few days, when we see it on the test, हाँ, तूने उस दिन बोला था, you had told me that day. Till then, we don't believe. But Ayurveda saw it coming years ago. Your tongue would have seen it years ago. At least months ago. Now, the best action is Ayurvedic interventions, lifestyle changes, deeper treatments. Very, very, very crucial. Otherwise, you will have to use the health insurance really well if it is not taken care here. Yeah? You can be financially safe. Next, complications. This is the last stage where there's kidney failure, heart disease, nerve damage, lifetime medications, heavy treatments, quality of life declines. Best course of action, Ayurveda can still help, but the focus shifts to management, not cure. How many of you feel that this is a very, very interesting order of occurrence? Take a look at this. Increase, which is the first whisper, accumulation. Then there is aggravation. Alarm gets louder. Then there is spread. It starts showing in different areas. Next, deposition, the damage begins. Then there is manifestation. There is a name to the disease. And then there is complication. This is what you see around you. In the chat box, if you've seen these things around you or in yourself. This is what happens. Yes. Okay. Why is this so important? Why is this way of looking at things so very important? Is because most people wait. And I've seen this painstakingly to reach stage 5 or stage 6. My question is, what about you? What would you do? Let me know in the chat box. What would you do? You take care of it at 1, 2, or you would wait till 5, 6? Or are you saying that no matter what happens, I'm acting now? Type now in the chat box. if now is the time for you to act. Now in the chat box, if now is the time for you to act. Thank you very much. Now, diagnosis is just the beginning. Agree? Yes, in the chat box if you agree. The diagnosis, knowing something is not right is just the beginning. Now, let me ask you this. How many of you would like to work with us to solve your imbalances that you saw or which are there? Me in the chat box, if you'd like to work with us to solve your imbalances, me in the chat box. Whatever you have seen over the last 1 hour or so. Thank you very much. How many of you are ready to work on your roots? Type roots in the chat box if you're ready to work on your roots, on the base of what's happening. Superb. Thank you very much. Now, would you like to use time-tested diagnostic methods that we use? Time-tested diagnostic method that tells us precisely what's going on. And by following a step-by-step system towards a state of health. Type yes in the chat box if you'd like to work step-by-step towards a state of health. Thank you very much. See, this is whatever I'm going to tell you here today. I'm being very open because it's a value exchange that I always see happening between me and our clients. This is an offer that I've given before and I will give again, no doubt. But what you see as price here might not be there ever again. There's a lot of change that is going to happen within our system. And what you see here might not be there ever again. How many of you understood that? Yes in the chat box. I'm going to tell you something which you can choose to pick, but there's a catch to it. Yeah. Here you go. Now, this time, this is the only way to work with me. Now on, this is how we are doing it. This program that I'm going to tell you is the only way to work with me because I'm going to work very deeply with a few. And there are only 10 spots today. Type 10 in the chat box if you understood that. There are only 10 spots that we are opening today. 10 in the chat box. I in the chat box if you'd like to be one among the 10, where we also analyze your gut microbiome. Right. Thank you very much. Now, listen to her. Okay. Listen to somebody who had a certain challenge. Just give me 1 second. Okay. This is from a session that we did. Okay. So listen.
And next point is from the past 20 days or so, I have been eating outside food. So generally when I eat outside food, it is always, I always have bloating or motions and all. But because of some of the things that you had told that I was following, that thing is not happening. I mean, I can definitely say that the gut is recovering better nowadays. And the other major win that I found was that after the medicines that you gave, my hemoglobin has raised from 7 to 9.4 in just 2 weeks, 10 to 15 days maximum. So that was a miracle for me because this would have happened only in an injection, the regular allopathic injection. And such a big improvement in hemoglobin, I got a shock because I was expecting below 7 when I went for the test. So, but then 9.4 was very surprising. And the amount of research, the amount of depth that you have gone into Ayurveda is huge. Otherwise, this type of, surprising things won't happen. Yeah, and thank you so much for that. And I'm happy to be a part of Roots.
Thank you. So this is one of our participants who went through. So what really helped them? How many of you like to know? Me in the chat box if you'd like to know what helped them, what helped her, what process helped her do this. So here you go. See, they're going through something which is called the 8 stages of healing. And by the way, she's right now in the second stage. Okay. They're going through something which is called the 8 stages of healing, according to Ayurveda. And it is in a program which is called Roots 168. There's a reason why we say Roots 168. It is 168 days. Now, do I have your permission to reveal the Roots program that reprograms your roots? Yes, in the chat box if I have your permission. I'd like to see a lot of yeses before I go ahead. All right. Thank you very, very much. So here you go. These are the 8 stages of healing. The stage 1 is clearing out toxin and fixing your digestion. That's the first thing that we do in the roots. And the Ayurvedic methodology that we do is Amapachana, or toxin removal. This is the science behind it, the Ayurvedic principle behind it. The second stage is boosting your metabolism and energy. It is about strengthening your digestion and reducing the sluggishness. And primarily this works on the second tissue, which is called Rakta. The first one was Rasa, which is primarily your first digestive outcome. And the second one is working on Rakta, which is making sure that your circulation is clearing up. Now, third stage is enhancing circulation even further and then actively cleansing blood. That is what happens in the third one, which also improves your muscle tissue by the time you reach here. Next is stress and emotional reset. By this time, when you reach this stage 4, you will see that your stress will come down. Now, one of the things that Lena, who was there earlier, said that her anger towards her children has reduced. The reason is she's able to handle things better. It's not that children have settled down. No, they might be the same, but her response to it has improved because she is able to be much more emotionally resilient while she's dealing with stress. Her sleep also improves as a result. Now, next is strengthening your body's defense. Also, she mentioned that whenever she eats from outside, her gut goes for a toss because her defenses are already improving. That is why this is happening inside her. Next stage 6, is where you align digestion, energy, and mental clarity. You go deeper into your healing. Stage 7 is about deep tissue nourishment, where your joints improve, your bone, nerve, and reproductive health also improves by this time. And the last stage is where you build your final vitality and you go into youthfulness. This is the idea. This is a sequence that is followed. Now, how is this implemented? This is implemented with 24 challenges of 7 days each. Anybody who's been on the 21-day challenge would know what challenge means, right? It is 24 challenges of 7 days each. And what is the outcome? Simple. This is the outcome. Health is the outcome. How many of you want health as your outcome? Pristine health as your outcome. And not just coming out of disease. Somebody who's actively pursuing health rather than just warding off disease. You want quality of life, not just better test results. So this is where it goes towards. Samadosha, where your functions are better. Samagni, where your digestive fire is good. Samadhatu, where your tissues are healthy, supporting you. Malakriya, your excretion is happening well. And also, in the end, you become prasanna. You become happy in your atma, in your indriya, in your senses, and your mind. Now, the total value for this program that we see is about 2,25,000. This is not what you pay here today. Okay. Now, my question to you is, if I work with you, what if I work with you towards your outcomes daily? What would that mean for you? Let me know in the chat box. I work with you towards your outcomes every day. What would that mean to you? Let me know in a few words. What would that mean to you? a lot. Okay. Would be supportive to achieve health. Okay. Healthy life and happiness from within. Okay. Amazing and miraculous. Better personal health and mentally too. You're on the journey already. Grateful. Maza aa jayega. Okay, right. Thank you very much. Would that help you with a clear direction? That's my question. Would that help you with a clear direction? Yes, in the chat box, if you feel that will help you have a clear direction. Clear direction where you're going. In that situation, would you function better? Yes, in the chat box, if you feel that's true, that you will start functioning better. Yes. In that case, what would happen to your career that you have chosen? How would your work be? Not just career, how would your work be? What would happen to it? What will happen to your life? It will grow. Fantastic. It will grow. How many of you think that you would have growth in all areas of your life? How many of you think that you would have growth in all areas of your life? Because this growth requires two things. One is the process and second is the system. The process is the roots 168. The process is very simple. We have a process for 168 days that you follow. And the second thing that you need is a system. So what is the system? Type system in the chat box if you'd like to know what is the system. System in the chat box. System. System in the chat box. I'd like to see a lot more systems before I reveal. The system is direction and accountability. That is what is required. You need a clear direction and you need to be held accountable. How many of you here feel that when it comes to health, you are not held accountable? I in the chat box. If you feel that when it comes to health, you have not been held accountable, that you have not been responsible enough, or there wasn't a system that made you responsible enough. Where even if we have ill health, we were okay that way. Now, the direction is with me and Dr. Vani. The direction is with me and Dr. Vani. Okay. And how many of you here would like to come on a call with me and Dr. Vani where you get exact clarity as to what is the direction that you need to do? Me in the chat box if that is you. What exactly you need to do? Me in the chat box. This is what we do. Okay. So today, the total value is both of this together is about 250. Not done. But this is not what you invest today. Okay. Now, accountability. Daily morning at 5:40, you would do a call. And you'll be there for 6 months on that call, where you would plan your food, your herbs, your exercise, and your sleep for the day. We call it the 5E planning. And there are a few very senior veteran members here who have been doing the 5E planning for some time. Okay, we have a few on this call as well. So you can feel free to ask them in the chat box as well how their experience has been doing the 5E planning. They will let you know. Okay, they've been doing it for some time now. Now, all of this put together, it's about 275. It doesn't end there. When your body is stuck without movement, it is very difficult to heal. Type I in the chat box if you agree. That when your body is physically stuck, it is difficult to heal. So we do this every day, Monday to Friday. It's not at 5:40, it happens at 6 a.m., 6:05 a.m. It's a live yoga session that our teacher does. Her name is Priya. She teaches every weekday from Monday to Friday. Okay. All this put together is about 3. Now, it doesn't end there. We are also developing a stage-specific meditation for this. We're also developing a stage-specific meditation, which will help you receive faster results, which includes sleep meditation as well. All this put together is about 315. Now, type Nirbhaya in the chat box if you've been in Nirbhaya with me. If you've been in a session called Nirbhaya with me, type Nirbhaya in the chat box. If you've been in a session called Nirbhaya with me, some of you have. And Reena has been there. So Nirbhaya is a magic potion. It just cleanses a lot of emotional baggage that you have with your past. So we do that as well so that your gut can function well. All of this together, it's about 360 and you get lifetime access to the Life Wheel app. All of this, we put it up, it's about 395, but that's not what you invest here today. Okay. It's not any of these. Now let me know in the chat box, what do you feel would be a good investment to make towards better health? What do you think? Now remember, whatever you put in is what you value. Whatever you put in is what you value. Let me know in the chat box. What do you value your health? How much do you value your health? How much? It says 4 lakhs. Okay. How much do you value your health? I would love to know. What is the value that you put for your health? If it's priceless, put priceless. If you're priceless, put priceless. Thank you very, very much. Because you're not going to pay any of this. What is it today? Type today in the chat box if you'd like to know what is it today. What is going to be your investment today? Type today in the chat box if you'd like to know. What is going to be your investment today? Go ahead, go ahead. Who all would like to know what is the investment today? What is going to be the investment? You undervalue yourself, Swarup. You largely undervalue yourself. Today in the chat box, because it's going to be 85K. Okay. And there is a surprise for that 85K also. You're not going to be paying anything for this. It's all going to come up free for you. And the deposit investment today is 6,999. The link will come there in the chat box. Now, there are only 10 participants that I'll take this month, in the month of June. If anybody, the 11th person comes in, they'll be coming in the month of July. So the link is going to come up in the chat box right now of 6,999 that Priyadarshini will post. There you go. You can click on that link. There are only 10 spots. Okay. Amarnath, you can reach out to Priyadarshini. She'll help you out with that. Yeah, she'll help you out with that part. Now, for anybody who's on the Transcend, it's already, there is a way for you that Priyadarshini will help you out with that in the upcoming days. But the point is, the deposit investment is 6,999. Now, 30 days of beginning of the challenge, if you feel that there is a lack of alignment, you can let the team know. Okay, 30 days within the beginning of the challenge, you can let the team know and they will help you out with the refund. Because your investment is of no value to us if our program is of no value to you. And I would like to work with everybody on this call. And some of you might know that it's not completely possible most of the time for the time that we can give. For that, we have the 21-day challenge, the gut reset workshop and all that. But I would like to really work in a deeper association with you. And that can happen over the program, which is called Roots, because the Transcend is right now closed. Transcend is closed. So we have the only program that we are working on right now is the Roots in terms of enrollment. Now, it is to be paid in 2 parts. One is 39,999 by 21st of June. And the remaining can be paid on 15th of July. On or before 15th of July is 38K. That is what you invest. I've got a quick question for all of you. How many of you want a 20K off? I in the chat box if you want 20K off. I in the chat box if you want 20K off. This is what is going to happen. Okay. You can make a full investment by 12 p.m. tomorrow, which is 79,999. It's not 85K. You can make a full investment of 79,999 and you will get a microbiome test, a gut microbiome test worth 15K free. We're going to do a full round gut microbiome about a month. And after that, I'll be doing a specific consultation with you to exactly let you know what needs to be done. Okay, we are working with we're working on a research project, and this is going to be a huge part in that. We'd like to physically know what's happening as a result of the programs that we do. And you would also be getting a gut microbiome test done, which is worth 15K, and it's going to come free for anybody who makes a full investment by 12 p.m. tomorrow. Priyadarshini will be able to help you out. Now you can make the deposit payment, and then the rest can be completed by 12 p.m. tomorrow. For anybody else who comes on this, that is for 85K, this microbiome test might not be included in your package. However, you can make the deposit payment and let Priyadarshini know she can find some way of getting you in for this test, but it has to happen before 12 p.m. tomorrow. Okay. So there are only 10 spots that we have kept open for this month so that I can work in depth with them. I'm going to be keeping it open because I've not shared what to do for each dosha type, which is something that I'll share in a while. This is open for another 7 minutes. Okay. It's open for another 7 minutes. By 8:35, I'll be closing the enrollments. Whoever has come in by 8:35, you can come in and you can make the rest of the payment depending on the schedule that you're taking up, which is either this part payment or you can make a full payment by tomorrow. Anybody who makes a full payment doesn't get it at 85, get it at 79 and a test worth 15K for free. If you may have any questions, please let me know in the chat box. And at 8:35, I'll be sharing what you need to do for each imbalance. If you have any questions regarding the program, feel free to ask. Just keeping a timer on screen so that we are on track. You'll see a 5-minute timer on the screen, and when that ends, if you may have any questions, feel free to ask. Asha, there's a recent work that we are doing with an organization that has been there. Nandini might know, where we analyze what is your predominant gut microbiome. Now, we also have, apart from what is there in modern science, we also have we also have a way of looking at microbiome, not in the variety of it, but when you have this, there's a response that you would have based on your prakriti. We are working on how to improve this understanding so that you get faster results, where you don't have to spend a lot of time analyzing, hey, this is what I need to do, where by understanding your gut microbiome, if you're able to choose that this is what you can have according to Ayurveda, then we'll be able to probably decrease the time for your healing by at least 1/5. That's the intention. Uma, I hear you. I'll let you know, right? I had planned this for you earlier. I saw the message in the chat box. I planned this for you earlier. Now we have come to a shape for this. I'll let you know how we can do that, Uma. Okay. Glory coming up. That's what I said. Once the timer hits 0, I'll be giving you 3 things to do for Vata, Pitta, and Kapha. You're going to tell me for that case study that we saw earlier, what are you going to do? So congratulations and welcome in Amarjit Singh. Congratulations and welcome in. So let me ask you this. For anybody who earlier said that, yes, I would like to go for it, and now has a doubt, is it the program that you need clarity on, or is it your decision and action taking ability that you need clarity on? The first one or the second one? The first is about the program. Asha, as I mentioned, for transient, I'll be letting you know in separately. Okay. So relax. There is a, for anybody who's come in the transient, Kuljit as well. Yes. We're just waiting for the program to just refine a little bit before I can bring it to the transient. So what is it that you have a doubt on? For everybody who said earlier that, hey, we would like to know what the program is all about. Is it clarity on the program, or is it clarity on your own capability to take action and make decisions? Amarjit, I would like to know, where are you? Are you here, Amarjit? Not able to see you. Yeah, okay. Hi, I can see you now. What made you take the decision for coming into the roots, Amarjit? Would just love to know. You might need to unmute. Yeah.
I couldn't get you, please.
So what prompted you, or what inspired you to take up roots?
I had earlier joined your 21-day Prakriti challenge, but I was not able to attend full course due to my job commitments.
So this time you would really like to go ahead and do it. That's what you're saying?
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you very much, Amarjit. I'll see you inside. Thank you very much, and all the very
Thanks
best.
a lot. Thanks a lot.
All right. So if you may have any questions, you can stay till the end. I'll be taking a few Q&A at the end as well. Now, everybody ready for what to do according to your dosha imbalance? Everybody ready for that? What to do according to your dosha imbalance? Ready? Okay. So here you go. Now you have a tool that will help you analyze whether there's a vata imbalance, a pitta imbalance, or a kapha imbalance when you wake up in the morning. Correct? In the chat box? Yes. Correct? Whether there's a vata, pitta, or a kapha imbalance. Now, once you have identified that, according to your imbalance, there are a few things that you can do, which is categorized into 3. How many? Just categorized into 3. Raise both your hands up. Shake yourself up. Shake. Okay. Which is divided into 3. The first is for vata imbalance. Okay. We have divided that into ahara, which is food, vihara, which is habits, and third is aushadha, which is herbs. Ahara, vihara, and aushadha. You've divided into 3. So what are they? For vata. For vata, food include 10 ml sesame oil in food. If you see that there's a vata imbalance, include 10 ml sesame oil spread through the day. Good quality. And if you want good quality sesame oil, it is there on our store. You can get it from there. Anybody here who has used our sesame oil from the store? Me in the chat box if you've ever used our sesame oil from the store. If you have, you will know. It's very high quality. You've sourced it from Tamil Nadu from farmers. So take 10 ml of sesame oil in food. Next, habit. Note this down, okay? Note this down. Because whatever imbalance you see, you can apply this according to that. Habit. Have at least 8 hours of sleep. Or you can put it 7 plus 1 also. 7 hours at night, 1 hour in the afternoon. Habits. 8 hours of sleep, which is 7 plus 1. Okay. Next. What herb to use? Use triphala in ghee at bedtime. 3 pinches of triphala and little bit of ghee at bedtime. Use triphala in ghee at bedtime so that the healing happens along with moisturization. The healing and moisturization both should happen. So that is why we have triphala with ghee at bedtime. Next, pitta. Food. Include 10 ml ghee in food. Include 10 ml of ghee in food. Habit. 7 to 8 hours of sleep. Get 7 to 8 hours of sleep. Herb, the same. Triphala and ghee at bedtime. Ghee, why? Because it helps with both vata and pitta. Ghee helps with both reducing vata and pitta. So, triphala in ghee at bedtime. Triphala in ghee at bedtime. Next is kapha. Food. Include 3 grams of trikatu in food. Trikatu is a combination of long pepper, black pepper, and dry ginger. For kapha, include 3 grams of trikatu in food. Habit. Get 6 to, it's actually not 8, 6 to 7 hours of sleep is sufficient. For a kapha imbalance, you need less sleep. If you have a kapha imbalance, you need less sleep. Herb. What herb to use? Use triphala in honey at bedtime. Use what? Triphala in honey at bedtime. So I'll repeat it once again. If it is vata, include 10 ml of sesame oil in food. Habit, 8 hours of sleep, 7 plus 1. Herb, triphala in ghee at bedtime. Food. For pitta, include 10 ml in ghee in food. Include 10 ml of ghee in food, 7 to 8 hours of sleep, herb triphala in ghee at bedtime. Kapha. Include 3 grams of trikatu in food, which is like 8 pinches in, like you're having, let's say you're having tea, for example. If you're having tea, you can put that as a topping. Just like masala, you can put it on top. If you're having a soup, you can put this on top. You're having rice, you can put this on top. This is what you can do. For kapha, include 3 grams of trikatu in food, habit 6 to 7 hours of sleep, 6 to 7 hours of sleep, and triphala in honey at bedtime because honey reduces kapha. So let me know if you may have any questions. Now, before I go ahead, let me know in the chat box, what would you suggest the lady who had a white patch on her tongue, indigestion, anxiety, fatigue? What would you suggest her? What would be your suggestion for her? What would be your suggestion for her? What would you ask her to balance? Nandini, spot on. Kapha, yes. Trikadu, 6 hours of sleep, and Triphala with honey. That's specifically what she needs to do. Correct. Congratulations. Now you know, right? If you see this, do that. Simple. However, your first tissue that you see, indigestion and everything that you see, is usually on the rasa, which is the first tissue. Things are happening deeper. Things are happening much more deeper in your tissues, which is usually not perceivable always. For that, you need to put in a system that takes care of tissues one by one. And that is what we do in the roots. You take care of your tissues one by one. Each tissue is being taken care of in each stage. See, it can change. Yes, Amarnath, that can definitely change. For example, let's say that for a few days you are exposed to a lot of heat and you've been having a lot of spicy food. Definitely your pitta will go up. That is a definite thing. We can do that, Nandini, yes. Honey and Triphala, 3 pinches, enough honey to just mix Triphala. That's it. I've got a question for you here. Let's say that somebody is feeling angry from time to time for no reason. What would you suggest them? Honey can be taken in pre-diabetes, provided the honey that you get is of good quality. Kavita, spot on. Ghee, 7 hours of sleep. Okay. Okay. Honey be taken in pre-diabetes, provided it is good quality honey. That's it. Shailendra, spot on. Great. Good to see that. Thank you very, very much. Thank you very much. Sesame oil can be used in the food that is warm already. You can add that. You can add that on top. So, for example, something that we do at home is we just, when we are doing some tadka, instead of using coconut oil, we use sesame oil. Especially in the rainy season, we use a lot of sesame oil in the rainy season, and it's when it's cold. For example, right now we are in a different city, not in Kerala right now. So here it's cooler and drier. So we are using sesame oil a lot instead of using coconut oil. Can I take Triphala Gridam instead of Triphala with ghee? Leena Rani, you have that bottle with you of Triphala Gridam? Check how many ingredients are there in that. Because Triphala Gridam is not just Triphala Gridam, Triphala and Gridam. It's not just Triphala, which is Triphala, and Gridam, which is ghee. It is Triphaladi Gridam, which means it contains Triphala and a lot of other things, which might not be required for you. So it is according to requirement, right? Always. It's always according to requirement. So take only Triphala in ghee. Because the thing with that is that sometimes it might backfire. You intend something and something else might happen. We used to be asked earlier, hey, is it safe to have Ayurvedic medicines? Because I've heard that there is no side effect. What I believe is if there is no side effect, there is no effect. because a medicine should be precise. Just like a few army operations, it has to be precise. It should hit where it has to hit, not around. So it has to be a very targeted BrahMos missile, where it works specifically where it is required to work. Nothing more, nothing less. Cricketoo is long pepper, which is pipali, black pepper, which is kali mirch, and dry ginger, sont. Precise, exactly, Nandini. Indira, the full payment is 85K. The full payment is 85K. Or if you're paying in one full shot, it is 79,999, as you can see on the screen. 6,999 is the deposit that you pay so that you can book your space or book your spot for the program. Debasheet is available on the 5e Life store, which is 5elife.live, live/shop. How to consume Shirabala? Shirabala depends on for what reason we are consuming as well, Asha. It can be consumed along with food if you're comfortable doing that, or it can be had as it is. 5 drops a day should be sufficient. If you feel that there's a lot of heat around, then you can apply it on your navel and your soles, SOLES, regularly. That helps. If it is to be applied on your body, you can apply it on your entire body, wait for about 10-15 minutes and then take a bath. Is scrubbing the tongue after toothbrush the right thing to do? Yes. Scrape it off. Reena, very, very important that you scrape it off. And any day it is better to do it with a tongue cleaner than a plastic toothbrush. I'll post it here in the chat box itself. Like a neem stick, yes, that can be used. Daily tongue cleaning is a necessity. Jihva Shodhanam is a necessity. Scrape your tongue, Glory, it's good. Yes. See, there are no adverse effects as such, but then it's very important that we clean our tongue. It makes our tongue sharper. I'll give you a small example. In earlier days, there are a few herbs that are used. Even today, in our place, it is still used. We use it at home, where children are given a combination of vacha, honey, a few other things. And it is scraped on the tongue so that the tongue becomes lighter. When you do gharshana or when you do scraping on any body part, it will become lighter. That is the same case with the tongue also. The tongue needs to be flexible for it to function well. So scraping your tongue really helps with that. How long should we take Triflavit at bedtime? For as long as you wish, Sudha. And if you feel that the imbalance has gone off, you can go back to water, Trifla in water. gray marks on the side of the tongue. What does that mean? If there are certain marks on the side of, that's it. If you're able to see some gray patches on the side of the screen, that's what it is meant. I'll ask the team to do that. Yes. I think it would have already come in the group that you're a part of. Which cleaner should we use for cleaning tongue? It can be either if something organic or with copper is available, all the more better. Ankit, you tell me what's going on. Fissures in the sentence, scars on the side of the tongue. What does this mean? You have to tell me. Now you know what it is. Now you know what it is. And we are here not here to diagnose, by the way. I want you to diagnose yourself and see, when you come in for the roots, it's a deeper understanding that we'll go into. For now, use the tool and use the suggestions that I've given for now. Today's recording arena might not be available. This is a webinar that was done live. Next time when it happens, you can definitely join. All right. So thank you everyone for your time. I'm in the ghost mode again. Thank you once again for your time. I'll see you soon whenever we do a program next. Take care. Sleep well. It's already 9. Love you all. Good night. Bye-bye.